Welcome to this week's installment of Is It Worth It?, where we'll cast a line into the most immersive fishing simulator out there. Oops, that's the wrong game. Wait, Albion has fishing? Well, let's figure out exactly how much you can make, the path to get there, and how to maximize the value of your catch. Make sure to like and subscribe to see future content like this as it is released so you don't get ganked by the YouTube algorithm. Now let's bait a hook and get started. For this video, the character being used is Premium, but this is not required for this profession. Premium does grant a 50% gathering bonus, which applies to fishing, so the numbers provided today will be a bit reduced for non-premium accounts. Much like trying to catch a legendary fish with a paperclip and some chewing gum, low-tier fishing is not very profitable. So we're going to begin the session today by investing 2 million silver into T8 River Sturgeon. Each one of these consumed grants 140 fishing fame for non-premium accounts and 210 fishing fame for premium accounts. Think of it as chumming the waters, except the only thing getting hooked is your bank account. By setting the primary fishing skill to auto-learn and then consuming the fish, you will easily unlock T6 fishing at level 30 while minimizing the amount of learning points used to get there. This investment will be returned to you in the first fishing session, whereas the conventional method would take many hours to do the same. It's like skipping the part where you spend all day untangling your fishing line from a tree and going straight to reeling in the big catch. You may continue this method to level 60 to unlock T7 fishing, which is by far the most profitable as access to T7 rare fish and the bonus of T7 gathering gear is imperative to maximize fishing profit per hour. To test fishing profitability, we're going to use the following set: Fisherman's Cap, Fisherman's Garb, Fisherman Work Boots, Carving Sword for when the fish fight back, Fort Sterling Cape, Invisibility Potion for when the fish start actually recognizing you for standing in the same spot for too long, Pork Pies, and Fancy Fish Bait. A fishing rod and T8 fishing journals will also be in inventory as they can be filled with any fame from fishing, regardless of the tier of fish caught. You should carry at least 2 of these journals for each hour of fishing, and more as you gain specialization in the profession. There are a large variety of fish within Albion Online, so we're going to need to determine which fish and corresponding locations provide the highest profit per hour. In order to do this, we need to look at individual fish values. Of all the fish in the game, the 2 worth the most are the deadwater eel and the pure mist snapper. The deadwater eel, which sounds like something you'd see in a horror movie, shares zones with at least 2 other lower value tier 7 rare fish, regardless of where you fish for it. This reduces the silver per hour consistency, making the pure mist snapper the best option to maximize your hourly profits. What are you fishing for currently? Let me know in the comments. I promise I won't judge, even if it's just empty cans and old boots. Now let's do some math on the various zone types and determine the silver per hour for each. We fished for 3 hours in each test. First, we tried yellow zone mists. After 3 hours, our estimated market value of items was 2.7 million silver. Then we deduct our journal and consumable costs, leaving us with 2.55 million over those 3 hours, which makes it 850,000 silver per hour. Not bad, but I could make more doing faction warfare missions, watching a movie, and saving myself from carpal tunnel. Next, we tested Spindlewood, a T6 yellow zone near Limhurst. This was done while faction flagged and using a T6 Avalonian fishing rod to maximize profitability. Unfortunately, the zone was more overfished than a local pond on free fishing day. I counted 18 bots in total during my 3-hour session. They all looked the same, like they were copy-pasted straight from an NPC factory. Please make sure to take the time and report them. However, even if they do get banned, they'll be back in the same fishing spots soon enough, like an invasive species. During the fishing session, I gained 4,000 faction points, which were redeemed for 1 heart and 2 crests, adding 82,000 silver to our fishing total. After the full 3 hours, our estimated market value from fishing was 2.6 million, plus the 82,000 from the faction points. Then we deduct our journal and consumable costs, leaving us with 2.44 million over 3 hours, which makes the silver per hour 814,000. Not bad, but at this rate I'd have to fish for a decade before I can afford a yacht. Next, we tested Merkwell, a T7 red zone near Lyndhurst and removed our faction flag to help minimize getting ganked by the opposing faction warfare players. You can still be ganked by anyone flagged red, so pay attention to your surroundings. It's a lot like real fishing, except instead of a bear stealing your catch, it's another player. After 3 hours, our estimated market value from fishing was $4.8 million. Then we deducted consumable and journal costs, leaving a profit of $4.45 million, making the profit per hour $1,483,000 silver. Lastly, we tested a T8 Avalonian raid zone. This is by far the most profitable at $6.2 million after 3 hours. After deducting consumables and journal costs, which are a bit higher for this content, we come to $5.72 million total profit, making the profit per hour $1,906,000 silver. Now we're talking. That's enough silver to buy a fish so big you'd need a boat just to carry it home. Now let's take your fishing profit a step further. You can turn all of the non-rare fish into fish sauce, which is used in crafting enchanted foods, and this is done by taking your fish to a butcher and chopping them all up into chopped fish, then taking those to a cook and combining them with seaweed to make basic fish sauce. If you are already farming, fishing becomes the perfect way to augment your economy. Enchanted foods are commonly used by players looking to maximize a build's potential in both PvE and PvP. Remember to check local prices to find the best place to sell your fish sauce or foods, because let's be honest, no one wants to get stuck with a warehouse full of fish sauce. At the end of it all, I believe the risk of fishing in T8 Avalonian roads is worth it, given how quickly you can cover the cost of your set and consumables should the unfortunate happen. Obviously, fishing in these zones during prime time on your server will drastically increase the risk, so plan your fishing sessions accordingly. The increased fame from utilizing the T8 zones also helps speed your fishing specialization along to help maximize your silver per hour potential, as well as fill more T8 fishing journals per hour. That's it for today, folks. So remember to like and subscribe to see future videos as they release. Make sure to post in the comments what you'd like to see a video about, and I will add it to the list. We'll see you next week, where hopefully we have a bigger catch and fewer bots in the pond.